Hey guys, hope your week is going awesome. I'm Chelsea Nicole, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing part 3 of a 3-part mini-series all on how to book your very first paid photography clients. In part 1, we talked about learning and how to go beyond passive learning to really gain knowledge, experience, and confidence when shooting weddings. And part 2 is all about shooting, how to actually build a portfolio of work you love and tips for finding models. But after you've built up a small portfolio, how do you market your work and get it in front of your ideal clients? How do you take this passion of yours and turn it into a business where you actually get paid to do what you love? That's what we're talking about in part 3 and possibly the most important part of this series, and that's distribution. When it comes to sharing your images, this is where most photographers fail. We don't want to just share our photos. We want to share them intelligently and strategically. So when talking distribution, we're going to be breaking it into the who, what, and where of how to share, with each element working together and building upon each other. First up is who to share to. When you're first getting started, of course you want to get your work out there any way possible. Blast it all over Facebook, share it where your family, friends, acquaintances, coworkers, anybody will see it, so that way you are front of mind when it comes time to refer. But you'll also want to take it a step further than this. Your end goal should really be to get those images in front of your ideal client or bride. When I was first getting started, I had no clue who my ideal client was, so I kind of had to imagine who I might want to work with. And I imagined up for anything personality types, brides that were willing to explore and experiment with me, or positive people who liked the thrill of jumping over do not trespass signs, or didn't mind getting their fancy heels a little bit dirty. And that was the start of who I targeted. Simple as that. It really doesn't need to be complex when you're just getting started, because you're going to be constantly evolving this as you grow as a photographer. But it does help to have an idea in mind of who that target bride might be. Next is what to share. When sharing, it's important to curate and show only your very best work. A common mistake beginning photographers make is showing way too many images. And the reason this is a big mistake is your work is only as strong as your weakest photo. Also, it's really easy to overwhelm or bore potential clients through showing them way too many images. How do you want people to feel when they look at your work? Excited? Joyful even? Definitely not overwhelmed. When I was first getting started, often I'd only share 3 to 5 images in a post. I just didn't trust myself to curate my own work yet, and I was also growing as a photographer, so I went with a less is more approach. The best photographers out there are able to control how their images are experienced through the art of curation. And last, and probably the biggest question, is where to share. Now, when just getting started, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed by all the things you feel like you need to do and all the places you feel like you need to be in order to be successful. So instead of comparing all these different options, let's focus. The typical advice might be to ask, where does your ideal client hang out? But instead, to really supercharge this, I want you to ask yourself, where is she actively searching inspiration for her wedding? Now, I don't know your ideal client, so you might have to do a little bit of homework for yourself. But I can share what I found has worked for me. A lot of my brides find me organically through online search, be it Pinterest or Google image searches that link back to blog posts, online features, or my favorite, Instagram. The cool thing about Instagram is it's no longer as important to have this big, huge following. Instead, the most important part of getting found is having great engagement. And this is very achievable as long as you are active on the platform and tag things properly. For instance, if you worked on a styled shoot, it would be good to geotag the location as well as include hashtags for location. For example, Las Vegas wedding photography, Las Vegas wedding photographer, Vegas wedding photography, and different variations, as well as if it was a particular venue, include those venues, hashtags. The great thing about hashtags now is it's searchable in Instagram and people can follow a hashtag. So with like all these different hashtags, you might have a bride that is following a particular hashtag and you will show up in their feed. Another great way is to also include vendor credits in the description of your post if you worked with certain collaborators or say a model or planner or somebody that you might have worked with for a particular shoot. This is just great to give back to the community, but also can help you get discovered. And then in addition to including them in the description, you would also want to tag them on the image itself. I might do a more in-depth video on Instagram in the future, so if that's something that you guys would be interested in, definitely drop it in the comments. But these are just a few ideas to help you take advantage of the platform and get discovered without having this big initial following. We are so lucky to have social media, and you should definitely be taking advantage of it if you aren't already. It is the best marketing tool we have as photographers, and it's totally free. If I was just getting started all over again today, this is definitely what I would do. I would start with an Instagram account and a Facebook page where I would link my Instagram posts back to. And then I would also eventually start an online blog where images could be linked back to me through image search or Pinterest. To wrap things up, I hope this helps give an idea of the top things to focus on, because there's really just so much out there. And the key is really to not get overwhelmed. I recommend choosing 1 to 2 key platforms to focus on and just do really well with. Learn the ins and outs and share to them consistently. I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini series. Now all there is to do is to just go out and shoot and share. If you haven't already, be sure to check out part 1 on active learning and part 2 on building an amazing portfolio. And if you guys did enjoy this video, I would so appreciate if you would give it a like or drop me a little love below. And also be sure to subscribe so that you're tuned in for future videos. And I'll see you guys next time.